Jalen Brunson could be taking a massive pay cut with the New York Knicks, and we have to talk about this. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here. And the New York Knicks franchise player, Jalen Brunson, apparently could be taking a pay cut by signing an extension this summer, according to Ian Begley, who talked about it. And let's just jump right in and look at this, because what Begley had to say on the putback with Stefan Bondy and Tim Bontemps, that what I've heard is that Brunson doesn't really care about being a headline money-making player as a free agent. He's not caught up in that stuff. He likes it here. He really wants to see this organization keep going in the direction and have the success with him here. They're open to it, but there are other factors at play beyond the money that will come into it, according to Begley. Obviously, Ian Begley is the most tapped-in beat writer of anyone who discusses the New York Knicks. He knows the most about the team. He's the dude. He's basically just, Ian Begley's the man. We know this. But look, Jalen Brunson could seriously be considering taking a massive pay cut with the New York Knicks by signing an extension this summer instead of waiting till next summer when obviously the salary cap goes up. The extension doesn't have a year left on the contract, so he can get 5 years. And obviously it's like, all right, why the hell would Jalen Brunson do this? I understand, look, he wants to win. He's being a team player. That is amazing. That is exactly what you want out of your franchise superstar. But at the same time, is it really realistic to believe anyone would take that difference in money? Here's the explanation into why. On an article from the New York Post, it gets mentioned that Brunson is on that team-friendly deal because, people didn't realize who this man was. And according to the ESPN front office insider and former Brooklyn Nets assistant GM himself, Bobby Marks, Brunson's extension will max out at 4 years, $156.5 million if he signs this summer, which is a $39.1 million average annual salary. Now, obviously, he'll start around $35 million, going to like the 42, 43 range. And then if he decides to not sign and waits one more year for the extension, he gets a 5-year max extension of $258 million, which is a $51.5 million average salary. So obviously it's a big difference, but waiting for free agency is not the no-brainer decision that the numbers indicate, because by taking an extension this summer, Brunson would be eligible for a second max contract sooner, thereby closing the gap in money over time. So, if Brunson signs an extension this summer, then he's got this final year in his contract left. Then he starts getting that average of $39.1 million. That's 5 years left on his contract, so he becomes a free agent in 2029 when he's around 32 years old, assuming there's no options on the contract. Let's just say that there's not, just for the sake of explaining this. He'll be 32. He'll still be in his prime. So, yeah, getting a 5-year extension until he's 37, especially with all he's done for the Knicks, they'll do that. Leon will pay that money, barring the fact that Leon is still the Knicks president, which he probably will be because he's doing a real bang-up job. So, it would make sense for Brunson to do that because over time, the salary cap is going to keep growing and he could get an absolutely insane contract sooner when he's still in his prime, which obviously means that Jalen Brunson gets more money overall, and I'm for it. Give the man whatever the hell he wants. Give him that contract. Look, Jalen Brunson arguably can become the greatest New York Knick of all time. I think if he wins an NBA Finals with the Knicks, especially as the best player, he holds the best argument as the greatest Knick ever, because the last time the Knicks won the NBA Finals was 1973. That was 51 years ago, assuming the Knicks don't win the finals this year because they don't have a healthy Julius Randle. Kind of a turmoil year. But hey, we still finished as the second seed because we improvise, adapt, and overcome. But still, without Randle, it's hard to imagine the Knicks could win the finals this year. So let's assume they don't. And that'll be 51 years removed from an NBA championship. I am 22 years old, so I will know people over double my age who will have not seen a Knicks championship in their lifetime. My parents were hardly alive when the New York Knicks won a championship. Stephen A. Smith talks all the time about being like 5 or 6 years old the last time the Knicks won. Like, when you look at this organization, they have not had a lot of winning, and Jalen Brunson has a chance to change that. Clearly, the man is a winning player. He's been a winning player since college. He has 2 NCAA championships with Villanova. The man has made the Western Conference Finals before. He's just changed the direction of the New York Knicks, and I know Randall started this wave, but it's like a lob. Julius threw it up, Brunson dunked it down, except if we ever see that actual lob on the basketball court, I will probably scream because, Julius throwing Brunson a lob just is a funny image. But look, I do think that Brunson will sign an extension this summer in order to get the money later and to give the Knicks more flexibility. Jalen Brunson's very tapped in with the front office. He's tight with them. Obviously, the agent situation, the CAA stuff. We know that Jalen Brunson is tight with Leon Rose. That's no secret to anyone. And because of that, we know that they're going to communicate this with Brunson like, hey, take your extension now. Take the less money. We're still going to pay you in 5 years regardless. Leon Rose, if I'm Leon Rose, I'm like, I'm tight with your dad. We're tight. You and Sam Rose. He's your agent. So he's got that. Aaron Mintz, CAA. Look, the Knicks have a lot of this family business going on, and Brunson is at the forefront of it, which does mean that they can kind of be like, all right, JB, take the money now. We're still going to pay it. Dude, you could become the worst player in the NBA, which we know isn't going to happen, but you could be. We're still giving you that money because what you've done for this franchise already. I do fully believe that is going to happen. Now, that also gives the Knicks a ton of flexibility in regards to Julius Randle and OG Anunoby. And Brunson, when talking about this, seems like he might sign an extension this summer. He said, obviously, that's a thing you want to have, security. And it does mention that even if Brunson makes All NBA, which he absolutely will, he should make the first team. He's not eligible for the Supermax because he didn't get drafted by the Knicks. But Brunson, when talking about all this, basically said, I'm just focusing on finishing the season, doing the best we can to make sure everyone's back healthy and just doing my part. That's at the forefront of my mind, and I'll worry about that stuff later. And he shouldn't worry about this stuff right now. It doesn't make sense to. The Knicks have a playoff run to get on where they'll be playing either the Philadelphia 76ers or the Miami Heat, depending on how Wednesday's play-in game goes. I hope it's the 76ers. I'll probably do a whole video talking about it, so we'll save that for later. But the Knicks cap situation, it's interesting because right now it's beautiful. But when you look at Isaiah Hartenstein, who's going to get around a $4 to $5 million annual average increase in pay, plus that OG Anunoby extension, which we should see him sign for somewhere around $33 million, if I had to guess, between Mitchell Robinson's money, Josh Hart's money, DiVincenzo's mid-level exception. The Knicks are going to have some guys to pay. Precious Achiuwa becomes a free agent. We'll see what happens with that. If Brunson takes the pay cut now, it gives the Knicks more flexibility to go for another star and to really put this team over the top and make them even more of an NBA Finals contender than they already are. Because, look, they're the 2 seed in the NBA Eastern Conference. And that means you're a Finals contender. I'm sorry, it does. It just means they're a Finals contender. The Knicks are one of the top 2 teams in the Eastern Conference. They're the best team other than the Celtics. They are an NBA Finals contender. So it gives them more flexibility in the near. The Knicks, obviously, they're pretty much ready to cash in these picks, knowing how good this team is with just Jalen Brunson. Now imagine it with Julius Randle. Imagine it with another star on top of that, and most of the core still here because Jalen Brunson took the money earlier. So the Knicks could still have some flexibility and won't be right next to that second apron. Shout out Jalen Brunson for just being willing to do that. That is awesome. That is what a franchise player does. But on top of that, it is the right move. And look, he deserves whatever he asks for. 29 points per game, 7 assists, 48% from the field, 40% from 3, 84% from the free throw line. He's doing it at an efficient clip. Jalen Brunson is an absolute superstar. And also, shout out to Jalen Brunson's uncle, who, when I said to my friends at the Knicks game yesterday, damn, JB's missing a lot of the layups that he usually makes, his uncle taps me on the knee and says, oh, he's going to get 30. I had no idea it was his uncle until a security guard told me. And then he was absolutely right. We fist bumped. And then I said hi to his mom. And it was really cool. And Jalen Brunson's family is awesome. I think it's a testament to the fact that he is awesome and that he's willing to do this. Shout out to the Brunson family. Shout out to Jalen Brunson for just arguably having a chance to become the greatest Knick of all time. I can't wait to see what the future holds. I know he'll be a part of it. Looking forward to playoffs. NBA playoff season is here. The first play-in games happen on Tuesday night. This is coming out on Monday night. I can't wait, guys. We're going to see who the Knicks are playing on Wednesday after the Heat and the 76ers finish up. Right after that game, Darielle or I will post a video breaking it down. And if it is with the 76ers, we'll definitely get some videos going with Sean from Sixers Digest just to kind of break it down, have some fun little trash talk. That'll happen throughout the playoff series also. So who knows? We have a lot to see. It's all coming up, guys. You don't want to miss it. Make sure you're subscribed to Knicks Digest. Jalen Brunson bobblehead agrees. Look at him. Look at them. Look at him. Subscribe to Knicks Digest. The bobblehead wants you to. Look at him. That was really weird. Have a good day and go Knicks.